Obviously, the masters of photography made and still make great photographs. What's less appreciated by many is that they did it for a very long time, year after year, decade after decade. That incredible commitment to their art and that drive is the key to their mastery of the medium. Take Sebastián Salgado. His book Genesis is one of my favorites. He was already a master when he started working on it in his 60s, and yet it took him 8 years to complete. Very few photographers are taking on such long projects today. And mind you, 8 years of work for someone like Salgado are no joke. He worked intensely, traveling for months at a time over and over again. Now, I don't know if he was naturally talented. Maybe photography came easier to him than it does to most of us. But what I do know is that in the long time, it doesn't really matter, because over a long enough period of time, talent becomes almost indistinguishable from perseverance and commitment. We photographers spend most of our time wishing we had that camera or that lens, wishing that we could go to that place or that we had access to that subject. But what we need the most is time. I just finished reading this little book right here, Art and Fear. It's a good read, I recommend it, but there is one line specifically that stuck with me. The function of the overwhelming majority of your artwork is simply to teach you how to make the small fraction of your artwork that soars. And that is the truth that many of us have a very hard time accepting. We want to come back with the great images every time we go out, but of course, reality is very different. We fail a lot. We take bad pictures, I sure do. And it is very frustrating, but this is all part of the process. After almost a decade of doing this full time, I can tell you that for every image I'm proud of, there are hundreds that didn't work, images that no one sees, well, except my Patreons. I profoundly believe that the way to make good work is to make a lot of work. The more photos we take, the better images we'll make. Of course, those have to be intentional, and we need to look at them with a critical eye, and we need to learn what does work, what doesn't work. But what we must avoid at all costs is the chase of perfection. The idea of only pressing the shutter when we are absolutely sure it is going to work, because that can be very paralyzing and it leaves no room for experimentation. And believe me, I get it. I struggle with this a lot. It is very frustrating when you see that your last 500 pictures are just junk. But all of those photographs are almost always necessary to make your next great image, which could happen the next time you press the shutter. The sad truth is that most of those who start this journey quit eventually. If we want to last, we need to learn how not to quit. We have to become survivors, basically. And let me be clear here, long-term thinking doesn't mean taking it slow and easy, but it also doesn't mean pushing yourself to the edge every single day. The very own Salgado almost broke himself after so many years of photographing war zones. Longevity in the arts is about finding a balance. I like to think of it like the seasons of the year. There are some times where we must go all out. It's all about producing and creating new images. And there are times where we have to rest and we have to plant seeds for the future. But the key to lasting while still being productive, in my opinion, is to live a life that makes photography inevitable. This means creating habits and systems that make it easy to make photos even when the motivation fades. You already know the drill. Always carry a camera with you. It doesn't have to be a big camera. That's why I have this little one. It goes everywhere with me. Or if you like, just use your phone. Take photos, lots of them. They are good practice. Embrace the conditions, the location, and the subjects that you have access to right now. Have a few ongoing projects because they can be very helpful when we run out of ideas. And don't forget to measure the process, not the output. Most aspects of outdoor photography are totally out of our control, so keep that is in your control tight. Most importantly, show up. So talent is great. A good camera helps a lot, and having the resources to travel is amazing. But no matter where we start, our camera gear or the locations we have access to, the biggest factor for our work is time. There is no shortcut here. There is no substitute for showing up over and over. And very important, doing it in a sustainable way. The problem is, of course, that today time is one of the most scarce resources we have. So for those of you who feel like don't have time for photography, my recommendation, my message is embrace any moment. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, remember that there is always a great image waiting for you to be made. It's just one click away. Alright, so this was just a little thought I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.